I have Etta Orames with us, and she is someone who is super special to me. We've been working together for the past year in the MindFit mentorship. And now listen, you guys have, if you followed me for a while, or maybe you're new to my community, you hear me talking about getting over food issues. But I'd like Etta to come in and tell her story of where she was back in the day, going back to the beginning of her diet history, self-image, all of that stuff, and share with you guys a bit about what brought her to do mindset work and do something like the mentorship, like work with someone who's actually mentoring her and guiding. So Etta, great to have you here. Hello.
Hello, thank you so much. So I'll start with, I guess, where I came from when I first started, before I started the program. And just many years of yo-yo dieting and, just negative self-talk and just, very hard on myself, trying every, diet plan possible. And I was just frustrated and looking for something. And I already knew about you because I followed you many years ago when you first started out on YouTube with your videos. I used to do the exercise videos with you. So, and then I used to listen to I know you were, would send emails about different subjects, and I would follow those. And so I had a lot of confidence in you. I had that experience with you. And when I found out about the roadmap to freedom. When I found out about that, I was interested because, like I said, I was looking for something different. I knew that the way I was living wasn't healthy. And, because I would go to the point where I would lose, I would get to my goal weight or, what I thought I wanted to weigh, but, I couldn't sustain it. And, I'd go back to the binge eating and just, it was just a vicious circle. And I was tired of living like that. And, a lot of the concepts that you mentioned were different. I had not heard of, some of the things that you were talking about. So, besides the fact that it was different, it intrigued me. So I was like, maybe, she's, got something to all this. So
maybe there's more. Maybe there is something to this.
So that's what brought me here, just years of being frustrated and looking for something different. And, I did have a lot of, with all the different diet fads that I tried, I was most successful with my FitnessPal. I would always log my food, but, the more and more I dive into, the work that we did, a lot of it is mental. And I think that's why I had success with that, is because mentally I was thinking about when I was eating and why I was eating, and, but I didn't want to track my food for the rest of my life. Like I've done it for, 15 years, and I was tired of it. I was tired of tracking every single move I made around food. So, this definitely has helped me not to have to do that anymore. And just really, instead of tracking it now, I do think about, I'm not always thinking about food like I did before. So
would you say that roadmap to food freedom led you to ultimate food freedom? Like,
yes.
Here we are. Yeah. So Etta did the 5 days with me, which many of you are watching this video because you've come off of the roadmap to food freedom with me at some point, or perhaps you're watching this video because you just landed on my client love page. But it is a profound way to shift from, and I've designed it so that way, Etta has been following me on YouTube for years and we worked out together. So there was elements that were already in piece of, okay, I know I want to work out. I work out consistently. I'm tracking these things, but there's still some missing components. So the missing components have to do with your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, And then we also obviously thread the physical in, but that's all you've ever focused on was physical, right? It's like,
right.
that's for years and years, it was on and off the diets and, up and down with the weight gain, or then there was binge eating because this was working until it didn't work. And then and then the pendulum would swing, or the constant tracking. I do remember messaging back and forth with you during that roadmap we did together. That was the part too, that I could feel the frustration. That was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm tracking, but like, to what end? What am I supposed to do? Track for the rest of my life? And I was like, wait, girl, I got a better way. I got a better way for you. Right. So thank you so much for trusting me through that process, because I know you were apprehensive and a little leery, but then excited at the potential and possibility at the same time. So what made you, going through that roadmap, what was that point that you're like, you know what, I'm ready to invest in myself and actually do a mentorship? Or had you even heard of something like that before, or done any program like that before?
No, and I think that's what intrigued me, because it didn't sound like all the other programs. A lot of the other programs were, mostly concerned on, restricting your calories and, maybe making sure that you're exercising regularly, those kind of things, but it wasn't your mental health.
Food rules and fitness rules. It was like, just another program with different food rules and fitness rules.
Or, no carbs, or, all carbs, or, all fats, or, just like weird, crazy food rules. And I was, that never worked for me. So I knew that wasn't going to work. And I've spent a ton of, over the years, a ton of money on, Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and, you name it. I've probably tried it, and, it worked until it didn't. Want to enjoy life. And maybe there's another I never thought about my mental health as why I would binge eat, or just not be able to control my eating habits. And until I started diving into things, the topics that you had brought up, then I was like, oh, okay, this is making sense. I started putting things that I had done in my past together, and it was like, okay, I'm interested.
I understand. It was like a little toe in. We're like, okay, I'm kind of interested, but I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of interested, but I'm kind of scared. So, but you did it.
Yes, and I'm so happy. I mean, just self-discovery, is huge. Learning to trust myself again, which I just. I think in the very first beginning, when I came to this program, I had just came back from vacation, which most people, they're excited because they get to go on vacation. And I was just like really depressed. And I think I cried in the first session we had together, because I was just so frustrated with, my weight and, my eating habits. And I was just, mentally exhausted. And so I feel like I've done a whole 180 on that, just, self-reflecting on my feelings and not being hard on myself. The people in the group have been amazing, just listening to other people's stories and knowing that I'm not alone in the way I feel, because not everybody shares exactly their relationship around food. We talk about, I'm going on this diet, I'm just going to drink, celery water for a week, or, something silly like that, because I got to lose 20 pounds to go to this wedding. Like, people talk about that, but, really getting deep down on, how you felt growing up, and how, the diet culture has, just given you these ideas of, what you need to look like and how you should feel about yourself. We don't really sit around and talk about that. So I think
and it needs to
helped.
happen. Like, we need to have that conversation. And the fact that we can have it in our group, I think, is amazing, because that's where we get the context. We may talk about food, but the difference in our conversations in our group and what you bring to the table, Etta, is certainly sharing, like, hey, so this is the thing going on, or this happened over the weekend. And then we talk about not the thing so much, but the context around it and your thought about it. How do you
Right.
feel about it? And then that's how you actually work through some of the behavior changes. So the side effect then is, well, I'm not as interested in food. So
Right.
I heard you say you trust yourself more now,
Right.
right?
I do.
And so, yeah, so talk about that a little bit.
Well, I used to be very apprehensive, going to parties where there was going to be a lot of food, or just on vacations, when I felt like I just was not gonna, I was gonna gain 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever. And, I would just be nervous to even go, which, thinking about that
Mhm.
sounds so
Yeah, you'd be like, oh my
like
God, but
cringe.
this
It's
is
like,
like,
what?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
I'm living my life and I gotta I don't want to go live it because I'm afraid I can't trust myself with
right,
food, or I'm gonna
right,
gain a ton of weight, I'm gonna go off the rails, or whatever
right.
the thing is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the exercises, we did where it was, you'd write down, if this happens, what does that mean? What am I making this mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you can turn it around and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean, the world's going to end. It is what it is. And, you just have to turn it around and, think positively. And, that's what I've been doing. And it's helped me so much. I definitely write down my feelings more. And, if I have a certain thought, that's okay. It's okay to
Mhm.
feel the way I want to feel, but,
Mhm.
really dig into, why am I feeling like that? And
Mhm.
just not react so much. And I feel like it's, flowed over to my family, because I have
Oh,
discussed in the
yeah.
groups, I have an older son, who, sometimes doesn't make the life choices that I would wish for, but I'm not as reactive. Like, we have a way better relationship because, I'll listen, and, if I'm asked, for my advice, definitely I'll give it, but I don't push my beliefs or what I feel on him. And, I think it's really improved our relationship. And, I owe that to this group, because
Oh,
before I was very reactive. And I've always been a caregiver and always, thinking about trying to help other people, whether they want it or not. And now I think I'm more focused on taking care of myself, my well-being, so that I can take care of other people. But, I started yoga and started playing pickleball. And I think one of my first goals when I started this group was to, widen my friendship circle. And, I've accomplished a lot of things since, from a year ago.
yeah.
And I'm just really, feel like a lot of that's possible because of the group and the program and your group.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, it's true. I feel like we connected really right off the bat. I mean, you already knew me from YouTube, so maybe there was some of that there too, but I just wanted to also share. So Etta came to New York with her son over the summer, and we got to meet in real life, and that was amazing and magical. And so to be on Zoom every week in our group calls, and then actually get to like hug and go out to dinner and go to eat in person, it was just so freaking cool, that I cherish that, because I really, each client who comes into the group, like, I feel like there's a trust of, how awesome are the ladies in the group? Like, I can't curate it any better way, like who shows up and who shares and who, like, it's such a cool group of ladies who are all there to really work on themselves. And the fact that you feel safe, that you can cry if you need to cry. And it's not just like, I'm just going to put on the positive spin. It's more like, I love how you shared how you got used to feeling your feelings, but not being so afraid of them. And that is actually how you work through things to turn things
right,
around,
right,
and you're not shutting that off anymore. And that you found a group that you could explore that with safely and felt like, oh, look, I'm not alone. And hearing some
right.
other people also rooting you on, which is really awesome. I don't know if we get enough of that in our lives, just out and
Right.
about. So it's amazing. We've been working together for a year, but I feel like this year went like this, right? Like I sent
I
you
know.
that message to be like, so we're coming up on a year. And it's like, wait, what?
I know. It's been amazing.
It
Has
has
been
been
amazing.
amazing.
And
I
like I
love
said, I've
it.
learned so much about myself and thinking about, my childhood and, growing up, and just, there's just been so many things. And it's been incredible, and a journey, I guess, just
Yeah.
of self-discovery and, a newfound, I guess, relationship with myself that
Yeah.
I never had before. So I owe that to you and to this group. And, I love the videos, the quotes in the beginning, just the book recommendations. I mean, there were so many. And then the comments, people would leave below the videos, just explaining their thought processes and, what they were going through. It was helpful. And, there's so many things.
So what was your favorite part of the program, you think?
I like the videos. I love listening to things, and listening to your personal perspective, like your life story and what you went through. The thing about this program, this isn't something that you just, like got out of a book, or you were like, oh, well, I think this might work. It seemed like it worked for this person. No, you live this stuff. Like this is your life story that you've created this program based on the pain and suffering that you've went through your life. And you didn't want anyone else to have to go through that. So, that means everything, I think, especially when I'm, listening to the videos and you're giving me your personal accounts of what you went through and the feelings you felt. It's like, was very powerful to me, because and when you see somebody and you've seen what they've went through, it puts a little more, I don't know, I'm trying to think. It just puts a little more emphasis on how important it is, and that it really works, I guess, would be one way to say it.
Well, I think the other element here would be, and it is my intention when I share stories like this, I want to be able to give you permission. I want to give you permission that it's okay to be honest about the shit that you've been dealt in your life. Like not all of it is daisies and smiles and flowers. And that when we keep pushing that stuff down and we don't take a look at it and look at it in a contemplative way, right? So the reason I share my stories and I'm open and vulnerable with you guys is because I want to give you permission to do the same for yourselves. Right. Because when you are, so see, as Etta's sharing here, she has had the strength because I was able to do it, and some of the other ladies, that you can talk about some of the stuff, the tough stuff, losing your husband and, like things that you've been through. And even, going back even farther than that, right? Like you're reunited with your sister you haven't seen in so many years, and just things in the family that are like, yeah, man, okay, it's impacted me, and I didn't realize how much it's impacted me because you just put it in a little box and you put it on the shelf and you don't think that has anything to do with your food issues. Let me just follow the calories and let me just follow my Fitbit. And really has more to do with that little box on the shelf that you don't want to look at than you realize. And the thing is, so I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I tell those stories to basically, so you can open that box for yourself. Yeah. And you can take a look and you're not as scared to do it, because like, well, if Dana can do it and that's some shit, then I can do it too, and you did it so well because you just were open to the process from the beginning. Like I could tell that you were fed up because you were so coachable. You were so like open to receiving, and you showed up to the calls and you were like, like you were ready. You were just ready. And it was so great to see. And it was just a joy to be working with you, Etta. And I know we're connected from here on out. We're connected regardless of, staying in the mentorship, doing the work. You're still going to be doing the work. So spiritually, you and I are connected always. So if I'm in Arizona, I'm going to come visit you. When you're in New York, you can come visit me. And before we tie it up, I would really love for you to share, if there's any woman listening to this resonating with Etta's story and what we talked about today, maybe on the fence about like, do I do this mindset work? This seems strange. This is so different. What would you say to help encourage that woman to invest in herself and to really take the leap to do it?
Well, I mean, I would definitely encourage them. I've promoted this program with some of my dear friends that are just, struggling with same stuff we're all struggling with, the, diet addiction and, just the yo-yo and all this stuff that we're going through. And, I was very hesitant in the beginning, like everything was clicking with me and, it made sense and it was something different. But, at first I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. But I'm 100% so happy that I did it. I think it's one of the best investments I could have made on myself. And, we have to invest in ourselves, if you can financially, obviously, but, it was such a good decision. One of the best decisions I made in the year, just really, taking the leap and doing the program because it's helped me so much. I mean, just like in all parts of my life, like I said, not just personally and, with my, I'm not tracking anymore. Yay. And, I'm not, I'm very, I'm not struggling when I'm around food, and I feel like I have that freedom in my life now that I didn't have before. And just that is worth it. And then, like I said, with my family life as well, I feel like it's helped. And with friendships, just being able to have those healthy boundaries and, being able to stand up for myself and put myself first, which, I never really thought about that before. So, there's been just so many things in my life that have been better since I've taken this course. So if, I would encourage anyone, if they're having those same struggles, to take the leap. You will not be sorry you did. Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
love
just,
it.
I can't.
But it is like, I don't want to convince anyone ever because it just never is. That's not what it's about. But I do think it is important for women to help build a case for themselves. Like that, I think is important, right? Like you have to build the case as to, okay, I don't know. If you took that money, you could easily spend it on your son, right? You're like, oh, my son needs something. Oh, I'll spend it on him. But you have to think twice, 3 times, maybe more, and be like, yeah, do I do it? Do I click the button? Do I enroll? So it's like, but at some point realizing like, hold up, I'm giving to so many other people. What about me giving to me?
Right.
So it's not just like the dollar investment. It's the time, the energy, the effort, the attention. Like that's why you are so rewarded in this freedom that you're experiencing, because it wasn't just the financial investment. That's important too. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is, I want you to know about Etta is that Etta, I have to give props to you. You showed up. You showed up on the calls. You commented under the videos. You supported other women. And sometimes it's like, I just have to share. It wasn't for like months. And I was like, oh, Etta, by the way, what module are you on? It was like, she's like, module 3. And I think it was like 9 months in or something. I said, that's incredible because it's a self-paced course. And to me, she's living the work. Etta, like it is happening for you. So to me, I don't care what module you're on, you're showing up, and that is you doing the work because you're listening, you're absorbing, you're reflecting, you're doing all the things and being a different person in the process. So I don't care what module you're on. I just care that you're getting what you need. And you just shared so many things about who you were then. And here you are just a short year later, and there's more to come.
Right.
So
no, it keeps getting better and better. And, like I said, I owe so much to you and your program. And, I already had faith in you because, like I said, I had spent many years following you, and everything that you always shared was just so valuable. So I knew, and the thing another thing I looked at when I was thinking about this program was, if you were going to enroll in a course at a university, which, I think this information is just as valuable as a university course, because, you don't always learn about yourself, in these courses. And, so to me, it was kind of like, I was going to school for myself.
Yes,
Going to
I
school to
love
learn
that
about myself.
yes,
Because
yes.
that's what this has been, just a journey of self-discovery about Etta. And I would not
Yeah.
have had that same experience if I didn't, I mean, not to take away from learning at university, but I kind of compared it to that.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad
when
you
I was going
did.
to
I'm glad you did
invest in
because yeah, because it really is. I mean, it's a module like course. I mean, there are
it.
videos and
Right.
multiple videos and coursework. So in a way, it's a curriculum.
Yeah.
So if you do enjoy learning and going back to school, I think that's the other thing. I think you'll really enjoy about this is like if you value education and you value learning in general, I really wish this could be available in a university. I'm not going to lie. If I could teach a semester of this mindset course and like diet culture and the damage and ripple effect from diet culture and how we turn that around. Oh my God, that I don't know, maybe I need to put that out to the universe. Like, can a university hire me
Yes.
to teach this course? But what would you pay if you were actually taking it at a university? Like,
yeah, I know.
So, I think this is a steal of a deal if you ask me, because it's like, but it is like you're going back to school. So I love that you looked at it that way because it is. You're going back to the school of Etta. You're going back to the school, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I really appreciate your viewpoint, your story. You've come so far. And something else Etta and I have been working on in our time together is just finding her voice and that she was able to get to this point, with maybe a few months ago, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. But in a few short months later, it's like, you know what? I think I can talk. I can speak to this, and I think I can help another woman who might be trying to find her voice in her way. So I can't thank you enough. And Etta is on Facebook. If you mind, like if someone needs to like reach out or has questions about the program. Yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
feel free.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Cool. I love that. Every single one of my clients, like, yes, reach out, ask questions. Because if you wanted to know something, but you didn't want to ask me, I totally respect that. And I understand it. And I value my clients' experience, and we have great relationship. They're going to be honest with you, and so you can ask them anything. All right. So Etta's here for you as well. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Etta. I really appreciate you showing up today and sharing, and also that that we are just getting started. It's like it's a year, but what's cool is the mindset work and the coursework is a framework. So you'll continue, like it's going to be fun to check in and keep in touch after this point to see what else unfolds for you, to see what happens from here, because it's a layering process. We don't want to rush the process, right? We slow down, we observe what's going on, and really examine ourselves and do some self-examination of like, how am I feeling? What's showing up here? What am I making this mean about me? All of those things that you learn as the framework to guide you in the rest of your life. So I do look forward to hearing, and more to come, more to come.
Well, it's funny because you said that, because it is I had said that earlier, I'm not as reactive, and I just find that, I am definitely slowed down a little bit on my reactions to things and how I feel about things. And, and it's helped me so much, because before I would just be like this, everything was kind of black and white. It's either this or that. And now, what am I making this mean about me? And I love it.
It's like, maybe I could just let that go.
Maybe I could. And enjoy my day.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Etta. And I look forward to seeing you possibly in the mentorship where Etta's passing the baton to you. Happy to have you take over if you feel called and you feel ready. I would certainly love to have you. All right. So we'll see you in there. All right. Thanks,
okay.
Etta.
Bye.
Bye.